Oh no, guys, I have the infamous Dodge lamp out issue. So if you guys have ever had this, you're going to be very familiar with it. What happens is it starts binging. Bing, bing, bing. And it usually happens when you're on a long trip and you can't stop anywhere. And even if you could stop, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. So mine started doing that. Right now it's on a steady lamp out. I thought it was the light sockets in the back. And when this happens, it causes arcing and it melts the plastic on the bulb and inside of the holder. And after that happens, you basically just have to replace the whole holder. So I'm going to show you guys how you can troubleshoot this. There it is, guys. The crazy binging I was talking about. Look at that. Oh, that'll drive you nuts. I had this happen on a trip to the beach. For 2 hours, it did this. So anyhow, let's get on to figuring out what's wrong. All right, I just wanted to give you a quick look at what I am using. This is a Autel MaxiAP AP200, and this one is for my Dodge vehicles. I have a lifetime subscription basically to Dodge with this dongle. So that's what I'm going to use. It was about 35 bucks when I got it. I think they're a little more now. They're probably 50 bucks. But this is a nice little module. It actually will read all of the modules in your vehicle. So that's what I'm going to use. Let's give it a try. Okay, I have you inside the software here. We're going to go into Dodge. It's already connected to the dongle down there. I'm not going to do automatic selection because it doesn't work on this vehicle. Let's do manual selection. And of course, right now, guess what? The lamp out's not on. Oh, come on. Seriously. Oh, I can't even get it to trigger. I might have to go out there and tap on the light. One way to start off the video. Let me start the vehicle. Hopefully that doesn't mess up my connection. Okay, it says lamp out. All right, so as you can see, we have an up to 2003, 2004, 2000, we're at 2002. We're gonna use up to 2003 and go to Diagnostic. I'm gonna do an auto scan. I probably shouldn't though, this takes forever. So I'm gonna have to fast forward through this or else we're gonna be here until about midnight. I thought the FCM, I wanted to say the FCM is where it's normally stored. And as you can see, ours shows no fault. That's no good. Like I said, I think the FCM is normally where you would find this, but it might be in the early Gen 3s. It doesn't actually store anything. Oh, no, look at that, look at that. It does store it, it just didn't show anything. That's kind of interesting. So there you go, guys. Your front left turn output circuit is open. Here's one clue as to where the issue resides. So we're gonna turn our directionals on here. That's our right directional, and as you can see, it's just doing the normal flash, and this is the left. So typically when you have that really fast flashing like that, it means that you have a bulb out on that side somewhere. So we either have a bulb out in the front, a bulb out in the rear, we have a wiring issue, we could have a bad ground, we could have, rodents could have chewed through a wire, and it's kind of making intermittent connectivity. It could be the socket. So as you can see in our scanner software, it does show us that the front left turn output circuit is open. And again, I found that under the oh, there it goes, it has faults now. Why didn't it have faults before? So as you can see, it shows 2 faults. We'll go back in there and it should show us our 2 faults. Come on, read the codes, read the codes. And there it is again, stored and active, front left turn output circuit open. So what does that tell us? It tells us we're gonna have to take that headlamp assembly out, because in order to get to that bulb, you have to take it out. Let's go ahead, get that hood open, see if we can figure out what's going on. All right, let's get this hood open. All right, I'm gonna try to zoom in on this, see if we can see it. Oh, there it is, guys. Let's see if we can focus on it. Look at that. 10mm socket. Deep down in there. We gotta try to get in there, get it out without scratching anything up, without dropping it. Wish me luck. Okay. See if we can see. Uh-oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, we got it. Oh, that's a pain, guys. That's a pain. Let's hope when it comes out that I can find my 10mm. You're not going to be able to see up in there, but I can feel up in there. I'm not sure. Oh, it twists up. Let's see if it's long enough to pull it out. Here it is, guys. Here it is. We got it. Holy cow. Oh, it's not looking good. Right here is a little burn spot. That could be our issue. The bulb itself looks good. Let me look at it closer. Now, both filaments look fine. I see that black spot on there, and it kind of makes me think it's arcing. All right, as you see, this one is a 3157 NA. What's happening is that has a little arcing going on, and it ate away some of the metal, and that's causing it to not make a good connection. So one thing I wanted to mention here is that this vehicle, you can use either a 4157 NA bulb for the front turn signals, or you can use a 3157 NA. It's recommended to use the 4157 NA because it's less prone to getting really hot and causing that arcing. The 3157 is obviously more prone to that. So it is actually recommended by the manufacturer and by the bulb manufacturers to use a 4157 in this vehicle. Another problem though is there might be some arcing on the metal in there. Let me see if I can zoom in on that and see. Yeah, you can see where it's been arcing. So we can see that pin over there is our issue. Let me go ahead and get my files. All right, I have a little file here. I'm just going to gently file that and try to get rid of any black marks that are on it. I think that's good. All right, if you want to, you can take some QD electronic cleaner. Go ahead and give it a spray down in there. Get all the junk cleared out of it. Shake it out. It'll dry out real quick. I mean, this stuff is quick drying. I'm going to take this same file and just gently file that down so it's flat. Well, not flat, just so it takes out the ridges and the black stuff. Hopefully now it'll make good contact. Oh, you know what we almost forgot to do, guys? We almost forgot to bend these in some. So let's just gently push on these pins. Kind of push them in like that. Be careful, you don't want to go too hard and break something. That sound was not me breaking something, it was just the metal sliding off of metal. Let's get some of our dielectric grease. I'm going to put a little bit on this little cotton swab, and I'm just going to put some on the pins like that. When these slide in, it's going to push it off the connector, and so it's not going to cause any issues with electricity getting to it. All right, it goes like that. Find that hole. Come on. Okay, we got it. It's in. All right, before we fully reinstall it, let's see how it functions. All right, guys. I'm going to call that good. All right, let's see if we can get this headlight reinstalled, because that is part of the job. So basically just line those pins back up. Come on, buddy. Come on, hand-eye coordination. You can do it. Guys, you don't have to go crazy tight. Just snug it up. A little snuggy snuggy. That's it, snuggy snuggy. There it is. Done. Our job is done, guys. All right, everybody, there you have it. That's how you use one of those relatively inexpensive scanners that can do all the modules in your vehicle to be able to determine what's causing the lamp out. So in our case, it pointed us right to the front left, and we knew to focus on that area. It could be any of the other areas. It could be the rear, and it should also tell you exactly which location and which bulb is having the issue. So if you're having this problem, it is highly recommended to use one of those little scanners to be able to locate it. And that way you don't have to be guessing. Sometimes you can visually see where it's happening. In my case, it was making that dinging, binging sound, driving me nuts. But when I went outside and I checked, everything was working as it should. All of a sudden, it finally got worse enough to where it actually was triggering when I was actually using the turn signal. And so that's what also helped me to determine that it was something on the left side of the vehicle. But using that scanner, we were able to go in, we were able to pinpoint exactly where it was. So sometimes it is not as easy as it just being a bulb out. In our case, it was because the socket was arcing and it had burned little holes in the metal, and so it wasn't making good contact. It could be anything, guys. It could be a bad ground. It could be the bulb itself is out. It could be a wiring issue. You could have a rodent issue, and it may not actually be at the actual bulb itself. It could, it could be anywhere from the bulb all the way back to the connection at the computer or the module that controls that system. So this is the FSM module, I believe, in this case. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can use it to fix your lamp out issue on your Dodge vehicle. And as always, I want to thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.
Uh-oh.